What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to leave a like on the video. It would be greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe, also, if you haven't done that yet. Boy, does it ever feel like a Monday morning. I guess for you guys it wouldn't because it's already Wednesday. Must be nice. Last Thursday, we had our first live stream back in many months, and I just want to say thank you again to all of you who could make it, and to those who couldn't. You can watch the entire VOD, the entire stream over on the second channel, Toogii 2, so please do check that out as well. Hold that thought. Our second ever end of day report. I think the first end of day report we didn't actually see together for whatever reason. I had to cut it out of the edit, but guest experience today, 5.0, park rep 5.0, park rating 1.89. Those are some rookie numbers. I think we can bump those numbers up. I know it says that we're turning a profit, but we're really not, right? Because we kind of took out a pretty hefty loan, and we've been paying that back slowly but surely. So our profit does say 43,000. That's not accurate. You can see down here we have, I mean, it is accurate, but you get it. You get it. We have $2,700 in the back pocket, which is fine, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Guests can't reach the park entrance and they want to leave. It's good to see that issue still persists, I suppose. What the heck was I talking about, dude? Now I'm so distracted. Right. On stream, I was feeling incredible. We spent 4 hours and I thought we were getting just so much work done. And then I come back here this morning and we have one new building to show for it. But that's pretty on brand. That is pretty on brand for me. So I guess I shouldn't really be that surprised. But today we're going to be taking this building that we created together and essentially just duplicating it on over to fill this little slot as well. I don't think I want to do another Splash Emporium on the bottom side of the other one. I think what would probably be smarter is if we did another information kiosk. Probably not the countertop like we have up here. We'll probably do like the proper facility for that. But otherwise, guests are going to have to purchase their pool passes clear up here at the main entrance. So I was thinking it would probably be smarter if we had an extra one, you know, pretty dang close to the pool. So I think that's what I want to do there. As far as the facility on the top side of this other building goes, here we have a gelato bro, or on stream I guess we were hearing them say gelato a lot. Let's see if we can just hear that one mo again for old time's sake. Maybe one more? That wasn't a very good one. No, still too quiet. That's fine. This has its own shop music. It's kind of overpowering the gelato, but gelato bro, that's what we've got cooking over here. Where the heck was I going with that? You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not fully awake yet, obviously. Oh, right. So I don't know what I want to do for this shop on the top side of the other one, but since we have gelato bro here, maybe we could do like a Cosmic Cow ice cream drink shop on the top side of this building. Brain, please just start firing on all cylinders. I'm down like 7. I'm a V8. I'm down like 7 cylinders. Currently just running off of 1, and it feels weird. Also, I don't really love the awnings above the windows. Personally, I kind of feel like it would look a little bit better without them. I didn't want to get rid of them on stream because that was a suggestion from stream chat, and I didn't want you guys to turn on me mid-stream like that. That's always really awkward when that happens. Anywho, I want to select this building. Oh, also something I did just before starting recording this morning is I changed this portion of it to the modern wood wall instead of brick is what it was before, and I really kind of prefer it like this. So we're gonna kind of do the same thing, like I said, over to the other side. We're gonna edit this building, and I think the easiest way for us to be able to move almost everything in one fell swoop is to just do this, and then we're gonna deselect, if it'll let us, deselect that facility. I think we're good. We'll go down to the bottom, deselect this one, deselect the changing rooms as well. I keep thinking that those are bathrooms. You know, we're gonna need bathrooms. We'll worry about that later. We will worry about that later. So if we just hit copy now, it should keep the whole building kind of in that same grid. Oh, you know what? I forgot to... Well, we've got a piece of roof that should have been detached from the rest of the building. And then we have another piece of roof that should have done the same thing. So maybe before we move, I should try to fix that. Okay, we should be good now. There we go. Okay, those two weird roof pieces that shouldn't have been there aren't there anymore, so that's nice. But we're gonna have to bring this out just a little bit further. Only 1,400 schmackaroonies, that ain't too shabby. We've got to delete those walls just off the backside, and it didn't bring the power distributor with it, that's good. And didn't bring any of the other facilities. That's important, I mean, partly because we already have 2 of them here, but also I'm trying to save some money while we, you know, work on these new buildings. So we're just gonna select this whole shebang again and then move it right on over to here. I don't think the height should have changed at all, right? Nope. We are still bang on the money. Right about there. Gelato. Wait, why is it still... Oh, it's still saying gelato because we have this sign. You know what? I'll keep that. I'll keep that until we have the new one. The next thing that we need to drag over there are these little guys. Pretty much all the additional trim on this building. None of that would follow when duplicating it, right? It's not technically part of the building. And then these 2. We've still got to do the roof. Still got to slide those gutters over there too. Apparently I'm the gutter guy now, which is fine. I guess there's worse things to be known as, I suppose. Let's just go ahead and group all of that, and then we're gonna slide this over using the world axis just until it kinda, sorta, not really snaps into place. We are gonna have to fine-tune this sucker. I think that looks pretty good. Pretty solid. 380 schmackaroonies. Next, the roof and the gutters, of course. So for that, I want to say the whole roof should be one complete assembly. No? It's kind of looking like that. We're not really going to know until we try to move it. So I'm going to select that and the gutters. We'll see if we can slide both of those over as one complete assembly. We are missing a small portion of the roof. Okay. Hang on. We can fix that. We just select this one first. Looks like we've got all of it. And then we'll select this one. And the gutters. That should be it. Should be. Check just before we get into position. That looks good. That looks good to me. Oh, wait, dude. I forgot about the A-pillar trim up there. All right, we should probably move all of that together. It just makes the most sense. This time for sure. Okay, we've got A-pillar trim, front and rear. We've got gutters. Looks like we've got the entire roof, and the previous attempts I was also forgetting the ridge cap along the top. So we've got that this time as well. Just need to slide it on over. And then I'm gonna use the gutters actually to get this properly aligned. Looks good to me. Looks good from where I'm sitting. Why do I hear somebody struggling in the pool? Lifeguards, are we good? I'm loving seeing the floaties in here. That's nice. Dude, we've still got so much work to do to this whole pool area, but we're gonna make some good progress here today, I hope. That looks good there, though. Let me undo really quick. I bought 2 of them. Of course, it's a good thing that undo exists, huh? There it is. Okay. So, moving right along here, I guess we should start with a path. No? We just got to make sure that this is set up properly. We were using the horizontal plank. I think this one. We'll try this one first. If it doesn't work, obviously it's the other. Oh, and fixed length. Fixed length is on. I think we're good. So we're just gonna do a slight little ramp like so. Switch to our stamp builder. And just stamp up that whole top section. Switching back off the grid. We need this, but it needs to come straight out to this other path. And it doesn't really love doing this. Yeah, is what I've noticed. So, what I'm gonna do is delete that, and then we'll go from this path up to the other one. That always works. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. It is what it is. Oh, and we don't want railing here anyways. Let's make sure that that's the right one, and then we'll turn it off. And using our stamp, we're gonna grab a stamp from here, if it'll let us, and just hit undo. And we can patch that up. No prob. Look at that. Oh, dude, I forgot railing up here, though. Okay, hang on. Sometimes it works. Sometimes. Or I guess it doesn't really matter in this scenario because the railing is the same. Ooh, that's not the same, though. The railing is the same on the staircase. A lot of the time you'll get too close and it'll end up changing the railing, but like I said, it doesn't matter because same. So we're just gonna add this all the way around and everything's gonna be great. Moving on to facilities. First thing we're gonna need is a Cosmic Cow milkshakes, and that is gonna go right up yonder. Right smack dab in the center of that building there. And then we'll do same thing down under my, but down here, we need an information kiosk, or I guess it's called a guest services shop now. Used to be called something different, I believe, in the first game. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I'd say that looks pretty solid. Oh, you know what else we need to do is change the color of these bad boys. So that should be teal, white, and then teal, I believe. That looks right. They do kind of blend in with our bathroom, so hopefully, you know, that doesn't end up confusing our guests at all. It would be a little awkward to walk into a changing room thinking that it's a bathroom. I suppose IRL changing rooms probably are bathrooms. They're like one and the same, but that's not the way that things work here. So now that we have those two things placed down, we should probably get them opened on up. And it auto hires staff too, so that's one less thing that we need to worry about today. We might end up needing to hire additional staff just as floaters though. And then another thing that we need to do out here is figure out a spot for a staff resting facility, because currently all of our staff in this area is going to have to walk all the way over here behind this door to our only staff resting facility so far. Again, on stream, I'm pretty sure we did this on stream, we moved our original one here to a more central location inside the park. I think it's going to work better for, you know, all of our employees up there, but back here by the pool, we're gonna need something different. Oh, and another thing, as far as power goes, we have this one distributor, but I'm thinking long term we're probably gonna want another distributor, maybe over here. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Like, we're gonna edit this building. I don't know what they're saying, but it's a bop. That is a bop and a half. Okay, anywho, let's try to... It's doing the thing again, man, where it's like, yeah, you're using the grid height, brother, but then you start moving it and it doesn't actually snap to anywhere. That's really annoying. I swear, every single time I'm trying to add something to these buildings, that happens. And it's just, it's not fun. It's not fun. But at least we have this killer song to listen to while we work on this. I guess that's kind of fun. So, we're gonna connect that. How did we do the other side? From distributor to distributor. Okay, so we're just gonna do the same thing over here then, from distributor to our other distributor. Look at the coverage. Look at the coverage, you guys. It's insane. And if we end up needing more power, I believe all we'll have to do in that case is just basically connect another one of these entrance gates to our existing power grid, if you will. And that should give us more power without actually needing to place down a separate generator. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get away with doing things that way. Another thing that this pool area desperately needs is a water pump and filter. Now, again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure our main entrance gates kind of work in a similar way to how they work with power. Hopefully you're still following me. So instead of needing we don't need a power generator, right? We can connect distributors directly to those gates. I don't think we need a water pump. We can just connect our water filters to the gates. For some reason, the gates seem to give off water? I don't really know, but we're gonna try that.
A few moments later.
All right, the deed is done. So what I had to do in order to make this all work is basically just slide our power distributors back a little bit further into this wall, and since I had to do that, I also had to extend this path bit just slightly. Otherwise, it would have done weird stuff to our terrain. I do still intend to put plants here, and plants here, and plants here, and plants here, and here. There's gonna be plants. I need a full day to place some plants. I don't know if I'm gonna do that on stream or not, dude. I thought about doing it this past Thursday, but it's just not my most favorite thing to do. I'm sorry. It's very boring. I find it very boring. Anyways, if we don't get these filters connected ASAP, dude, this pool is just gonna get even more disgusting. I mean, you can really tell, just visually, it's pretty hazy. It looks like it's getting dirtier and dirtier with every guest that jumps in the thing. So, let's head back to facilities. I wanna try hooking the gates up to the filters. It works. Ladies and gentlemen, it works. Now, we don't need these filters to be accessible to our mechanics, or we don't really even need 2 of the filters for one single pool. However, I just really like the way that it looks when this control panel is kind of clipping through the brick. It's cool. It's probably not the smartest idea to have this big red button basically eye level with a lot of the kids in the park. You know one of them is gonna walk up and push it. It's too dang tempting. Heck, I'd probably do it, and I'm a grown man. But the pool is already looking more and more clear, and I think it's only gonna get better. Oh yeah, dude, it's already up to 100%. 469, okay, now 468% per hour. So those 2 filters definitely not gonna struggle with a pool of this size. They're both doing 120 per hour, which is very solid. But back to the buildings. What I want to do now is select all 4 of these benches, all 4 of these parasols or umbrellas, and using the world axis, we're just going to get these 4 slid over to here, and I'm going to do my very best to make sure that they're roughly in the center of this platform. That looks pretty good if you ask me. And the next thing that we're gonna have to do is change up the gelato. I know it's pronounced gelato, but we need to get this changed to a Cosmic Cow milkshake sign now instead. So I'm thinking we'll probably just put this guy over top of the Gelato Bro signage. And then we'll try to get in here and delete The old one, that's just the ice cream scoops. There it is. Nope, okay. And then I want to see how this little milkshake would look scaled up like 150%. Maybe that's too big. How about 125? There we go. That's better. And then I'm gonna get that actually moved in just a little bit closer to the rest of the sign. And then maybe bring them both down just a tad before we slide them over and try to put them in the center. I think that looks nice. I really do wish that we could like invert these on a vertical or horizontal axis. I think it would look better if we were able to have like another one of these inverted on the opposite side, you know? But it just doesn't look right when you do it like that. So we'll stick with this design and this sign as well, right? If we had another one of these but like had it flipped, does it have a reverse side? It does not. But that kind of gives you a little bit better of an idea of how it could look. Maybe someday they'll give us that functionality, but for right now, I think that's probably as good as that's gonna get. So, now that we've got our signage finished, I think it's about time that we start adding some trash cans and some benches over to this little area here. Oh, you know what? Another thing. Let me just put that one trash can there. We have some other benches we can duplicate in that area. I finally added gutters to our main entrance, main building. The main entrance, you know, gateway buildings have had it pretty much from the start. But this one, I just kept putting it off, and finally I decided to do it off camera. So, the front one's very normal. We just have some real long gutters on the more elevated portion, right? And then down here, they're obviously a little bit shorter. But look at this. I mean, we had to do some crazy stuff to this little gutter bit to make it work with those custom posts up front. And then round the back, I thought it would be weird if we had another super long gutter coming all the way down this way. So what I did instead is added a little drain spout. That way we can imagine that the water would drain down here and then go into this other gutter that has a proper floor drain. How am I still not awake yet, dude? It's 10 a.m. Oh wait, what did that say? Guests are having their pool passes refunded because they're not spending enough time in pools. All right. Just you guys wait. Okay, there are no slides yet. I know it's a pretty small pool as well. It'll get better. Just bear with me for a little while longer. What was I working on? Benches. Benches. We're gonna put one on either side of that trash can, and then of course mirror images of each other. We're gonna have to do the exact same thing right yonder. So we'll do those two like so. All right, that's probably enough trash cans and benches up here, but I know we're gonna need some more down under mine. So let's go ahead and do a trash can here and a trash can here. That's really gonna make those big red buttons even more tempting. Maybe we shouldn't, actually. Yeah, that looks kind of bad. We'll stick to having sort of one trash can in the corner down here. That should be more than enough, I would think. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm thinking maybe we'll try to make this area an additional cafeteria, if you will, just by copying a couple of these down there. I don't know if I love this, but I suppose it's better than just leaving it as an empty asphalt spot, right? This vomit has been here since the start of this recording today, and we still haven't had a janitor out here to get it cleaned up. So maybe we need more janitors? We have one. How have we made it this far with only one dang janitor? Yeah, we gotta fix that. Let's drop another one down out here. I don't know, is the park big enough for 3? 3 kind of feels like overkill. And we're gonna stick with one mechanic for the time being as well. But what about How we doing on ride operators? Do we still have 4 of those? Okay, so we're good on ride attendants. We're gonna have to do a bit of counting here real quick. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I think technically, yeah, these 2 up here are 9 and 10. So we have 10 total vendor spots, vendor locations, and we only have 10 total vendors. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab just 2 more vendors, and they'll be like our floaters to, you know, take over when somebody needs to take a break. Hopefully that doesn't bankrupt us. It shouldn't. We have $21,000 remaining. Oh, revenue today, $87,000? And then it's $16,000 sales cut. Yikes. Okay, so we're almost back to our starting debt amount of $20,000, but we did take out $40,000 in total. We had to, dude. We just had to, straight up. I think I want to change our pool path plaza texture to anything other than asphalt. There's too much. There's way too much asphalt in this park, and around the pool area especially, I just feel like it deserves to be something different. So going just along the edge of the pool here, I'm gonna try this, I think it's flagstone something rather path. Is that right? Yeah, square flagstone path. And we used the same path down on the underside of our main entrance main building, and it looked pretty dang good. So I'm thinking we could probably bring this all the way out to here. This could still be a straight shot of asphalt. We could do another staircase coming up this direction to eventually branch off to another new themed zone. We will be doing theme zones. I promise. I know we haven't been doing any thus far. We've just been solely focused on this like main classic themed entrance area, and we're gonna keep working on it until it's like dang near perfect. Too steep. Okay, so maybe that's where that's gonna stop, I guess. Personally, I think that did a lot, right? Just to not have any more asphalt in this area, to have it actually look a little bit more like a swimming pool area instead. It's a pretty dramatic change, I think. Anyways, now for the pool. We do have to get this changed just a little bit. We can't leave it looking default. That's super lame. So I'm gonna try concrete with a terracotta tile pool edge, and we'll see how that looks. We'll just try this little corner over here. I thought the terracotta would sort of tie in the brick a little bit, but they're completely different red / orangey colors. So maybe that's not what we want to do for that. Sandstone doesn't really work very well with the flagstone, I don't think. What about white tiled? That could be something. That could be something. Or we could try the wood too. God, I'm always a sucker for the wooden one. You know what? That would, no pun intended, work because this wood up here, right? It kind of ties all that together. I could have swore we could change like the color of the concrete, but I guess not. It's just gonna be that color always. Not a big fan of that whatsoever. What about the medium tile? No. I like the smooth look. So I think that's what we're gonna go with. We'll see how it looks, you know, when the entire pool's been changed. Maybe we won't like it anymore. Okay, I was right. I don't like it anymore. I love it. I think that's perfect. Dude, the wood trim around the outside too, that just kind of makes it pop more. Makes it stand out. Just that much more. What I want to do now is more or less just a test, right? Just sort of test in the waters here. I don't know that this is gonna work for sure. But I want to try taking this building right yonder and duplicating it, rotating it around, of course, but duplicating it over into this area. I have to see. I have to see how it would look. And we would probably want it... Well, that makes it a little bit closer to the pool. How much space do we have here? 1, 2, 3. So then we probably want 3 over here as well. So maybe about here. Oh, it also duplicated all the facilities, though. That wasted quite a bit of money. But at least we'll be able to get a feel for it, you know, see what we think. I already know a lot of you aren't going to be on board because you don't really love when I just take an existing building and duplicate it. But I feel like they're far enough apart to where it might look okay. So I'm kind of thinking we have another path. Imagine that's a staircase. There's no path to... Okay, yeah, I get it. We're just testing right now. Chill out. Notifications, we're just testing. Imagine that's a little staircase, though. And it's going to be... Would it be the same? It'd be the same height as this one, I think. But imagine we have one of those over here. And then we have this whole area right next door to put slides or more plants. And then we have this big old strip here for a coaster, a water ride, who knows, maybe just another flat ride. Something like that could easily fit back in this area, or we could do more buildings. I don't know. But this is, or I guess this building would be sort of the edge, the outer skirts of the central, not really themed zone. And then after this point, that's when we're going to be branching out and doing like a Western themed zone or a sci-fi themed, or I don't even know. But this is the edge of the central zone. So just keep that in mind with the whole building and stuff. I want to try to keep all the zones separate. I don't really want you to be able to see another zone from, say, being in the pool here in the middle. I don't really want you to be able to see any of the other zones, but we'll figure that out in due time. We're probably going to need some like facades or like a mountain range or something to kind of conceal everything. But I wanted to see how this would kind of look out here. And I hate to say this, because again, I know a lot of you probably aren't going to be a fan of that, but I like it. And I think I'm going to pull the trigger on it, but we're going to undo so we don't duplicate the facilities inside of that, right? That's a big chunk of change. So we're back up to $5 grand. I'm going to let time play just a little bit longer, and then I'll go ahead with adding that other building out here. I gotta admit, I'm a little surprised that we have any budget, any money at all left over after moving a good majority of this building. Granted, we haven't moved the nearly $50,000 roof just yet. We'll have to hold off on that for the time being. What I want to do first is sort of get this new building equipped with all the facilities that it's gonna need, right? We kind of only added it for the bathrooms and I guess for another staff resting facility, which is already down here behind this door there. So what I'm thinking is we just very simply get rid of that thing, and then let's go into facilities. I don't remember. Oh, here they are. The body dryer. So I want to do another changing room, another set of changing rooms in here. We'll do another one just on that side. And then let's do body dryers, I think, in this back corner area. If I remember right, in Toogii land, I was having a really difficult time fitting any sort of opening in front of the body dryers. We ended up having to make basically our own custom one. I'm not against the idea of doing that again. Why is there a significant gap in between those? What the heck's going on? Oh, wait. Are we... No, never mind. That wouldn't change. That wouldn't change anything. I have no idea why that happened. That is super strange. What if I move this one? And now we'll duplicate. Okay, it's suddenly fixed. That is very odd. Yeah, I'll just move this one. I wonder if the grid somehow moved on us. Oh, you know what else? We're not going to want this light there now. That's not really going to do us any good whatsoever. And then we're going to need a archway, or an archway. Hold up, look at this. Look at this, dude. I swear, it's suddenly using a completely different, well, not, I mean, it's not that far off, but I mean, you can see the hairline gap there. All I did was grab the arch and duplicated it. And look at how far off it is now. I don't know what would be causing that. Let me just back out of editing the entire building. And we'll get back under here, see if it's still gonna happen. So I want just the arch. If we duplicate it, now it's lined up just fine. Super weird. Super, super weird. And you know what? Oh, dude bro just used the body dryer. That's sick. We actually don't want the painted brick in here anymore, I don't think. So we'll do something like that. See how much of a gap we have still on the top side of the body dryer, though? It's gonna be kind of difficult to squeeze anything in there, I think. And then over here, we're gonna have to get rid of that. And once again, grab these arches. And we'll do one there and one there. Okay, so above the body dryer, I mean, we could try doing like what we did above the bathrooms, I guess. But it's still not gonna be perfect. You know, there's still definitely a gap there, but for now, it'll be fine. I guess we could try this. See if it would look halfway decent, and it does. Okay, so we're taking the arch that's already in place there, and we're just gonna lower it down until it kind of covers the weird gap in the top. I think this is, oh, also, what's the path doing here? The body dryers are just so weird, dude. Like, I swear they get placed at different heights. Look at this. Look at this in the back. You see the height difference between the, what is that, a changing room? I was gonna say bathroom. Doesn't change anything. But you see the height difference in those two, right? I just don't know how we're meant to get the body dryer to be the right height. Even if we added a path connecting these two, it's still not gonna be the right height, and it's gonna put a curb there. We're just gonna leave it the way that it was before, and hopefully everything's fine. But the fact that those arrows are still appearing tells me that it's not technically connected. Let's get rid of these two notifications. If those pop back up, that means they're not properly connected to the path. Oh, and we need to change the color of these things as well. Body dryer, I feel like we should probably charge for, just because they are such a pain in the butt to get set up. So let's do that, and we'll change the gold to white, maybe? And then whatever this blue is, we can change that to, oh, that's the floor. Okay, let's change that to black. And then the very last one is gonna be the inside. I think we'll change that to that dark teal as well. That looks pretty nice. We'll do the same thing to the other side, and we can finally move on. You know, I like that opening so much more than what we had prior, that I've decided to change pretty much every single similar opening to that same design now. It looks so much better with the whole like coaster and water park print up there, just kind of tucked away, just kind of hidden. And then of course I had to do the whole main entrance, main building as well, because, you know, we can. But let's get back on track here. What we need to do now is try to start moving this whole roof to the new building. And I think it should be as simple as that. I guess there's probably some overhangs that I'm forgetting to duplicate. Hang on. Is it gonna grab everything? Ooh, we can't even afford to do this. But yes, we are missing a bit of the overhang on this other side. So in that case, we're gonna have to select here first, and then there, and then there. Now we can select that whole roof, this whole roof, and this whole roof, plus gutters too. Probably shouldn't forget about the gutters. It almost makes more sense to just try to move everything in one fell swoop, but it's really tricky to make sure that you have every single thing selected. Okay, so now we're good to duplicate. Got all the gutters, the whole roof looks there. I forgot the ridge cap. I forgot the thing that goes along the center of the... Unreal. You know what? We still don't have enough money. How much did this cost? $2,600. Okay, so we're gonna have to let some time play out then until we have, I don't know, with ridge cap, I'm thinking maybe $3,000. In the grand scheme of things, though, I know I called it like a $50,000 roof the other day, or not the other day, literally earlier in this recording. It feels like it's a whole nother day, but that's actually fairly cheap in the grand scheme of things. Guests are having their pool passes refunded still. Hang on, guys. You know what? We should be fast forwarding too. We're gonna have some slides. I'm thinking maybe we could do some slides in this, or I guess in these two areas. And they don't have to exit into the pool. I think we could have like the proper on-path slide ends over here and over here.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Why does my face cam look so much darker than normal? Oh no. Oh no, you know what I just realized? I let my wife borrow my camera this past weekend to take some family photos of some of our friends, and I'm pretty sure that I forgot to change the camera setting again. Yep, we're still in portrait here, ladies and gents. The white balance is all messed up. There we go. Wait, is it one more? No, one more is almost grayscale. That's for like cinematography stuff. There it is. There it is. That's much better. Yeah, she was using auto white balance because, you know, she's taking photos and stuff. I use a very like a preset white balance. You know what I'm saying? So all my lighting and everything, none of that changes. Anyways, that's a bit of a tangent. I think we're good. I think everything's great now. And we have enough money to duplicate this roof. So let's go ahead and do that. Just shy of 3,000 schmackaroonies, and we've got ourselves a roof. So this one is a little bit different than the main entrance main building. Just barely. So what I'm gonna do here is separate all that. Let's make sure that these are also just barely touching. Perfect. We're gonna duplicate another one of those. And again, just barely touching. That looks good. Now we gotta bring this spout all the way down to the ground. Just until it looks right, you know, it can be clipping through the floor or the path a little bit, I suppose. And then let's grab another one of these super long ones. Ooh, that's perfect. I'm trying to get like these two brackets, you see that up there? To try to intersect one another to where you can't really tell that it's an extension. I like that. And now just to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna duplicate that and slide it on over to right there. And just like that, ladies and gents, we've got us another building out here. We still don't have a food or a drink shop inside. We can determine, you know, what we want to do there later. But we've got our body dryer, we've got our changing room, our bathrooms, most importantly, and the staff resting facility also. That was pretty important. But now we have somewhere to house all of those things. And I think it looks pretty good. Of course, on this side of the building, I decided to put those windows back since we probably won't have a sign. There will be a sign up here eventually that'll say Toogii World, but I'm still on the fence of how I want to go about doing that. So just windows for this side. I'm loving the way that this is coming together though. Like, I really do think you just need to take your time with this stuff and eventually everything just sort of falls into place. And on that note, ladies and gents, I hate to do it to you, but that is where we're going to have to wind things down at for today. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.